G'day watchers, welcome to Perth Watch, your horology channel broadcasting from right here in Perth, Western Australia. Today I am featuring a piece of Mirka, but I've not seen this packaging before, which is interesting because it really does fit the military theme of this particular watch. Now Mirka, I've done a couple of their pieces, really mostly homage pieces, I want to say, but have a look at other reviews if you wish and their official site. Now this is some sort of nylon or whatever fabric packaging, but surprisingly it actually it doesn't spin too badly. That is at least a 3.5 despite some grippiness on the material here on this table. So it's just a little zip packaging, as you can see here. Big fat manual, multi-caliber manual. I'm not going to go into that. I think there's a warranty card buried in the back there somewhere. So it's just going to go straight into the watch, as you guys probably want me to do. So what we have here is the Mirka Military Field Watch. I think that's what they call it. Anyway, just click on the links if you want. It's got tritium in the name and some of the listings in some websites that I've seen, because that is one of the big selling features of this particular piece, the tritium that it has. Right, in terms of list price, right now on sale, I guess always on sale, maybe 170 or 169. I think it's been listed on AliExpress as I checked just then. Okay, and in terms of variations, I think it does come in a kind of a fabric field type strap, and then this particular bracelet, of course, which is interesting in itself, and I'll go into it a little bit later. Now, first up, of course, as I usually do, talking about the movement. This is they've been a little bit shifty about it, but I gather that it is actually the Tongji movement, the Chinese unified movement, CUM or CUM for short, and the specs I'm going to put down the left of screen there. You've kind of seen this in some of the very low price watches, my T-Vice or Terweise dive watch that Rolex homage for $25 or whatever. So that's the kind of watches this has tended to turn up in. In terms of features, this one's a full manual one. It's not an automatic. It does not hack as well. Rated accuracy, they tell me is plus or minus 25. The case back says it's been adjusted in 3 positions. I'm not sure how much of a job they actually do, because this is running very slow. It's running right on the cusp of that limit there, minus 25 seconds per day in the roughly 5 days I've tried to keep this running. So that's on the outside of it, and if I want to keep this, I'm going to have to open it and regulate it better than that. Okay, in terms of case, right, this is 39 millimeters. So if I, between my thumb and finger there, right, if you put a caliper there, that's 39 millimeters. That's what they say the case size is. And in terms of the bezel width, though, just to give you an idea, that's actually a 34 millimeter. Between my thumbs here, it's roughly 34 millimeters for the bezel itself. Overall thickness, they've kept it to 12 millimeters, which is all right, I suppose, given that they've got this structure of the glass here. I guess they could have easily done it a bit thinner because it's a manual wind, but this is what they've chosen to do. The lug width is 20 millimeters, and the lug to lug distance between my thumbs there is 47 millimeters. Overall weight on this bong clip type strap, all right, this is a fairly light strap. It's only 106 grams. Very comfortable, very easy to forget, I think, at times, that it's on my wrist. Okay, moving on to finishing. So this is going to be very easy for me to say because this is a fully matte bead blaster type of finish all the way throughout. So of course you got this convex rising up to the top of the glass there. You got this very squared off lug look, right? Squared off sides, and then a simple, screw down case back with some markings there. Hopefully, I'm not sure if that's going to come out very easy, whether you can read any of that, but just going to pause it there for you guys to see. I'm going to put a picture at the back of the video, of course, that shows this in more detail. So, just very simple finishing all through, but functional for what this is, right? As a military field style watch, you don't want it to be blingy in any sense. It's got a screw down solid case back that you've seen there. This crown is just a push crown, right? It winds in the 0 position, right? It's got a sign on there, kind of the M, stylized M there. They've rated this at 80 millimeters, right? The back of the case says that. I think other places say that, but on the website it also says 10 atmospheres in other listings, so there's a bit of controversy or contradiction there. But I'm going to take this as 80 meters is what this is supposed to be. Right, moving on to the dial now. So this is a lightly satin. I think there's a very light satin finish on this black dial here. But, of course, it's perfectly legible, black and white mostly. Printed details, it's got a chapter ring that's printed around the periphery. That's 5 divisions per second there, or per minute, as you might count this. So it's fairly well done, fairly well printed. There's a bit of color there on the dial there at the 6 o'clock position. So there's some variation here, but it's pretty sharply printed and very legible, definitely. It's got a tritium looms that you can see, right? Gas tubes in the 12 positions around, and it's actually inset into the flange there, which is a nice little touch because I don't think the watch that this homages, so just put it next to this. The watch that this homages is a Marathon military watch. I don't think that actually has insets, so let me know if you have any doubt as to what this might homage, what other watches, but this is the one that I found it probably closely homages. Right, back to the dial. So matte white syringe style hands with arrow seconds here, right? An arrow seconds hand here. It's got tritium tubes, as I said, on the 12 indices as well as the 2 main hands. It does have C3, what they say is C3 on painted onto the numbers here. It doesn't last very long, but I'm going to put a loop shot for you guys to see how this glows in the dark in concert with the tritium glass tubes as well. Right, moving on then above the dial, we have a pleasantly lightly domed sapphire. This is what this is, right? Nothing much more to say about it. It does have some reflectivity. I'm not sure how good the AI is, but that's what that is. Moving on to the bracelet. So this is, as I alluded to earlier, a bong clip style strap. This is the first I've seen, and it's a pleasure. It really has flexibility. It sits comfortably. You can see it's not a single tube, but I guess a double tube structure that holds the O, kind of the O things that make this bracelet up. And then this is the keeper or the clasp. It's just a simple push button, catch here. Okay, that's really what it is. It's got a brush type of finish throughout. Okay, so let's snap it on the wrist for a wrist shot for you guys now. And there we have it, the Mirka military field watch. Okay, remember it's a 39 millimeter case. It's 47 millimeter lug to lug width, right? Lug to lugs, and it's only 12 millimeter stick. So that's how it looks like on the wrist, and that's how that bong clip strap looks like. It is really quite different looking, not something I've had before. Yes, it's not that super special, but first time I featured this on this channel. Very, very comfortable, as I've alluded to. Okay, so let's just unclip it and talk about the watch now. So what have I particularly enjoyed about this? Right, I think the positives are, look, it's a reasonably packaged Marathon homage. It is an homage. I'm not going to give them design points because they didn't really design this from the ground up. It is an homage, but it's got thoughtful details, right? It's got the inset on the indices into the flange there. I think that's nicely done. And, I think the finishing is well done. And I want to say the case back, they've put in some thoughtful details there, right? There's no nice carving there, but I think it is very much military style, just, very pragmatic words and, codes that they put at the case back there. I think the finishing really is not bad at all, right? I'm not sure how hard it really is to beat blast, but this is not bad at all. Very even, very pleasing, definitely very matte finishing as you might think a military watch should have. And this bong clip, as I said, the first one I've had, really quite a good experience, right? Very comfortable and overall really quite a versatile piece, right? It's very suitable for many, many different settings, including a shirt and tie. I think you don't have any problem doing that. Maybe black tie is pushing it, but even so, some people might, kind of push to get away with that. Definitely office shirt and tie, absolutely no problem. This is really quite a good looking strap here that's suitable for that. And you're getting sapphire and you're getting the tritium glass tubes, right? So those are the positives at this price, right? 170 for this. There's some reasonable value here, but what other weaknesses? right? Firstly, ultimately, of course, is an homage. If you don't like copied design, well, you wouldn't get a watch like this. And that includes the tritium, right? The Marathon does appear to have tritium as well. So that is not an original thought to put that in. But again, I think some thoughtful differences, including the bracelet. The Marathon, I don't believe, comes with the bronze clipped. And, the way the dial has those gas tubes inset into the flange, again, a thoughtful difference. I think the movement is questionable, right? That movement it can't be expensive, right? You can't be fooling us and telling us it's any more than 20 bucks. I reckon at this price, you should have put in a Seiko or something equivalent. Find some other, manual wind quality one you can put in there. I'm sure even a Seagull would be better. Really should have a better movement than this movement, really, which I've told you is not accurate at all. I think the loom is also of poor quality, the C3 anyway, not the tritium, but the C3 doesn't really last very much. And I would say the strap, even though it is very comfortable, it doesn't feel expensive. It feels rather cheap. It feels like you can pick this up from AliExpress for not very much at all. And the use of the crow's feet on the dial, I think that's questionable. I think it's supposed to really be official British military. Let me know if I'm mistaken, but I think some people will be upset to see that and probably might not want to wear it just because of that. Manual wind, right? The movement is manual wind. So again, really should have had a better movement, but you might not be able to do manual wind automatic with this type of thickness that they wanted to achieve with that dial. It's not for everyone, right? No, not everyone can cope with manual winding. Certainly some people would hate it and would want an automatic. So just keep in mind, if you're going to get a manual wind watch, that's something you're going to have to put up with. Right, that's it, guys. Let me know your thoughts. Really, really interested to hear. I think 170 might be pushing it because of some of those weaknesses that I've highlighted, but look forward to what you guys have to say, including your experiences with the brand Mirka, if you have any of their pieces. Thank you again, guys, for joining me on this review. I'll catch you guys next time.